What's up, Weekend Warriors? The time has come. It is week one. How did we get here already? Everyone's been asking the commish, the content king, when's the next podcast coming out? I gave a teaser video, I guess it was almost 3-4 weeks ago now. Listen, we had the draft. It was a great time. Few of you couldn't make it. Always a pleasure to get the guys together. And then I will say that, the commish takes a break. He went on a vacation. I had a few other drafts. The other night I had 2 drafts in one day. Jumped on a plane this morning, 4 in the morning, to come down here to beautiful North Carolina. And it's about, 10 o'clock almost now. And the commish doesn't sleep for you guys, baby. I am here in the flesh, in a hotel room for you, filming the first week of the podcast. And I'm so excited to give you my NFL picks, give you a little draft recap, mixture with the week 1 predictions, and just give you guys something to chew on. So I'm extremely excited. Not only do we get Thursday night football, we get Friday night football, a full slate of college on Saturday, and by Sunday, if you have any money left or not, it's time for fantasy. So we're back, baby. The Weekend Warriors are back, and let's jump into it, man. Week 1 predictions. So I said this on the last show, but just to remind everyone, 61-17 last year with a 78% correct rate in my fantasy predictions with the matchups. 16-14 with a 47% correct rate in my NFL picks. So, room for improvement on the NFL picks. Definitely regression coming for the fantasy picks. So, let's jump into it. I'm gonna wait for my picks. I want to let them simmer a little bit. I am the Thursday Night King. I've been dubbed the Thursday Night King. That is my title. I've earned it. Valone and I were talking earlier. He said, you're coming into the season as the king. If you give out a few losers, I think he said 3 in a row, it gets stripped of my title, and then I'm the court jester. So, we'll see. I feel really good about my Thursday night pick coming out of the gate. So we'll see. So, jumping out of the gate, I'm going with You Sound Like You're From London versus the Hertz Locker. So my dad versus Terry. Little backstory. My dad got the first pick this year. Last year he passed on Christian McCaffrey and ended up taking Eckler, I think at 2, if memory serves me correctly. This year he gets the first pick and obviously goes all in with CMC. Obviously, easy pick. And he surrounded his team with really good running back depth, and Kyron, Connor, and Eckler, the aforementioned, on his bench. But little weaker wide receiver. London super strong, Pittman super strong, but JSN little unproven. A lot of people like him this year, but as your number 3, slightly weaker wide receiver. I think that's fair to say. Stroud's a great pick. He could be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy this year. A lot of people like him. He's got the weapons to do it. He doesn't run, and you like to have a rushing quarterback. But I do like Stroud. I think he was being a little overdrafted in leagues, but I'd love to have him as my quarterback. So flip the script to Terry. Never doubt Terry in fantasy. Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, his first 2 picks, tremendous. From there, went Hurts. I like Hurts, but are the rushing touchdowns going to regress slightly with Kelsey gone? Are they going to, they got a new offense, his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. Having Hurts and A.J. Brown together as a tandem, that's scary. That's stack. If they have a good season, he could win the league with those 2. But I don't like Aaron Jones. He's an old running back for a bad team, and I love the Vikings, but I don't know if he's going to get it done. Waddle's boom or bust, and Amari Cooper should be solid. Not my favorite team that Terry has drafted, I'll be honest with you. I don't really love my dad's team either. A good tight end in Andrews for my dad, a good tight end in Kittle for Terry, but they're definitely 5, 6-ish and not 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I think that my dad's team's going to go with McCaffrey and his health and Stroud's production, and obviously Kyron Kyron's a wild card, man. Some people think he's the 7th pick off the board. I've seen him go in the 3rd, almost 4th round. I mean, he's returning kicks. People don't know what to say about him. I'm on the cautious side of him. I'm a little scared of him. He didn't have a high draft capital. McVay finds all these guys in later rounds. I'm a little skeptical. I'm taking my dad in this matchup just because I do think Stroud comes out of the gate hot. I think McCaffrey to have that edge on your team, and Terry with Hurts and AJ Brown overseas. Not one of my picks, but I like the Packers in that game. Outright plus 2.5. Maybe they'll start a little bit slower with the new offensive coordinator. So I'm taking You Sound Like You're From London over Terry as my first projection here in week 1. All right, moving on. Let me just check who I have as the second matchup here. I got Otley and Kevin. I should have said the first matchup was an honorable mention for the matchup of the week. This is also an honorable mention for the matchup of the week. Otley is bum-fuzzled Snollygoster, and I asked him why he named his team that. He said so I could say it every week. Bum-fuzzled Snollygosters. I'll get it at some point. Versus Kamala Forprez 2024. Great name, Kev. Another 2 teams, I'll be honest with you, I don't love. And, listen, some people come on here and sometimes on this pod and say you like every team. 4 out of the first 4 teams, not my favorites, I'll be honest with you. So let's start with Ott. Mahomes and Kelsey. Such an Ott stack. He loves those guys, puts them together all the time. Kelsey, man, he's past his prime. He's still probably a top 5 tight end, but towards the end of the season, man, when the Chiefs are 13 and whatever the hell they are, how many games they play this year, are they really going to put him out there to play every snap? They're going to ease him back a little bit, save him for the playoffs, try to do the 3-peat. I had Mahomes last year in fantasy, man. The Chiefs won a Super Bowl, and he was bad in fantasy. So I do like Saquon, not a Ramondre Stevenson fan. Amon-Ra could be sneakily like the best player in fantasy. That guy is just so consistent. Detroit's a great offense, but I don't love Zay Flowers. I'm a Higgins guy, but Chase practiced today. Those are the only 2 guys though in Cincinnati, so Higgins will be fine. But Christian Kirk's kind of meh. He's not like a flashy type of player. So, I'm indifferent on Otley. And for Kev, again, no one find a bigger Vikings guy than me. Justin Jefferson, I love the guy. Sam Darnold's throwing the ball. I did another draft yesterday where I took A.J. Brown over Justin Jefferson. I just don't – he's a beast. I think he's the best wide receiver in football. But, there's been years in the past where Larry Fitzgerald was the best wide receiver in football, and he had Red Skeleton throwing the ball, and he had a bad year. So I worry about that. I do like Achane. Pairing him with a solid player like Mixon is pretty good. Kupp could break fantasy again this year. He won me a title, so he's my guy. That team, Puka concerns me a little bit, but so I think Kupp could have a big year. Zamir White, I got him on my dynasty team. He makes me nervous. He's kind of like, no draft capital. That team stinks. I don't know what to think. So, again, not my favorite team in Kevin. I'm going to go with Otley in this matchup because I do think that shootout in Detroit and the Rams Sunday night should be great for Amon-Ra. I think Kevin might start slow with guys like Ayuk, who's kind of got into camp late. Tough matchup against the Jets. Don't know really what to expect out of Brock Bowers. So I'm going to take Otley here in week 1. All right, moving on to the next matchup. This is a funny one. Mad Scientist, our newest member Booty, versus Bloody Booty Pitts. Valone, I guess if you tell me what that means, not sure. The picture's great. It's a man that's a little well endowed. And all right, so let's talk about some teams I like. Booty's team is one of my favorites, I will tell you. Brees is so solid. Love Marvin Harrison Jr. Olave, little post-type, sleeper-esh type of player. Rashee Rice, it was like, when are you going to take this guy? I have him almost in every other league I'm in. Booty reached for him a little bit in this one, but he still got him at a really good value with this suspension kind of going away. Ken Walker is so solid as an RB2. The only question mark I really see on this team is Richardson, who I am not super high on, but I think Booty. Let's see, I can check exactly where he picked him. Let's see, check 77th. That's good value. That's seventh round in a 10-man league. So he kind of hung around a little bit. So this is a really solid team. Maybe depth a little bit of concern. He does have Goff to give him some stability. Javante's pretty solid. So I really, really, really like Booty's team. Flip the script to Valone. Little bit of a shocker with Bijan at number 2. I like it. Personally, I would not have done it. I would have taken Tyreek and then Lamb if I knew he was in camp, and then Bijan. But if I didn't know Lamb was in camp, I probably would have taken Bijan 3. So it's not too far off. Bijan can have a huge year. He also has Kyle Pitts, and he has Cousins. A lot of Falcon love here. And then he has Devontae Adams, not my favorite player. I drafted him in a league I was in last night, Pearson's league, because he fell to me. But I do think Keenan Allen, fat Keenan Allen, he came in overweight. It's probably overblown, but Mike Evans is going to regress. I do like DK Metcalf, but having Cousins as your starter, coming off the Achilles, he does have a lot of other solid pieces. I do think that Jacobs is going to have a big year with some other injuries in Green Bay. He's really, really, not even sneaky, but just his value, I feel like, crept up as we got closer to drafts. I have written down somehow Valone over Booty. But with all these Falcons, man, in week 1, I got to see. I'm going to flip it right now. I'm taking Booty over Valone. Valone's currently meeting with Sam Semeka to talk about some legal situations. So Valone's very distracted. I hope he can get his bets in for tomorrow night. But I'm going to take the mad scientist. I think Booty came in with a strategy, and I like his team. So I'm going Booty here over Valone. All right, matchup of the week. Like I said, there was a bunch in contention. I'm going to go with my brother, our defending champion, versus chasing the bag, Bert. My brother, he's on record saying that Lamb fell to his lap. Is this league really competitive? Dude, the guy didn't have a contract. Like, why take him when you can take Amon-Ra or, one of these other guys who's equivalently maybe a hair worse, but, and then Lamb holds out and you're screwed. Whatever. It worked out for you, Jake. You got Lamb. He's going to be great. Weird line of the week. Dallas plus 2.5 in Cleveland with a really low total. I want to take Cleveland minus 2.5. Not my official pick, but that is a weird line. And Lamb might come out of the gate slow, because of that. My brother loves Lamar. He won him a championship last year. ETN and Pacheco, super solid. I love Tank Dell. Kamara is in a league where we give a half point per reception. He's coming out of the gate against Carolina. They have nobody else in their team. Honestly, the other running back that's going to compete with him for touches is probably the tight end / linebacker / water boy / quarterback Taysom Hill. So. Worthy on the bench as a home run hitter, and Zeke with some stability there. I really like that. Brett's team, Burrow and Chase. I see a lot of people went with stacks this year, man. That could be a big one. Chase reported today. He's practicing. He's back. Could be huge for Brett. Burrow, obviously, that game against New England, though, with Burrow, with Chase kind of just getting back and acclimated. Cincinnati kind of historically a little bit of slow starters. Scares me a little bit. But talk about value at running back for Burt. Henry is going to score 12 touchdowns minimum. Mostert is great in Miami. He'll be fine. Debo is a value pick. Let's see where he got him. I think that he got him 27. So he picked him in the late second round, so or early third round. But Devonta Smith, really like him. DJ Moore, he's solid. I think Brett has a little bit of a thing for DJ Moore. I saw him pick him in another league. So let me see what I have written down for this one, because the more I look at it, I like Jake's team just because Lamar's going to get his tomorrow night. I did say Lamb might start a little slow, but that Cincinnati offense scares me. I want to see it. I want to see Chase playing for sure. I want to see him get a full slate of reps. He'll come out and score an 80-yard touchdown and Brett wins on the week. But I'm going to take Jake here in week 1. Maybe it's a cop out, but I want to see what happens. It's the battle of the holdout wide receivers, man. Lamb versus Chase. Lamb just came back a little sooner. So before I get into my matchup with me and my arch nemesis, Chris, I want to give out my Thursday night pick. The same my other pick. Last year, and we can go back and watch the video. I haven't vetted this, but I'm pretty sure I came out of the gate hot, took the over. And I don't remember the outcome of that. I probably should. It was the Lions and the Chiefs. The Lions beat the Chiefs. I don't think the over hit. I'm taking the under, man. The Chiefs' defense is so good. The Ravens play so slow. This team played in the playoffs last year. I remember I took the over. I was in Vegas, and they came out, scored a touchdown right away. Baltimore almost answered, and then Zay Flowers fumbled into the end zone, all this weird stuff. I think this game's going to be like 23-20. 47.5 is way too many points. A lot of people like to come out. They want to see a fireworks show. I like the under. Could be wrong. Could be dead wrong. That's my pick. Officially the Thursday Night King. Get this man a crown. Under 47.5. Thursday Night Football. All right, so me versus Chris. Fun fact, we played each other week 1 last year. When that first came out, I was like, let me look and make sure that the schedule isn't exactly the same for everybody else. Everybody else is playing somebody different. The league just wants me and Chris to be together. So I do like Chris's team. I'll be honest with you. Now, I will say, let me just say, Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback in fantasy, great player. He worries me, man. His weapons are gone. He needs to rush for 10, 11, 12 touchdowns to sustain value. Who's he throwing the ball to? My guy, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid. Maybe Keon Coleman is Jamar Chase or one of these guys. But, at the same time, he worries me. And I think he was going a little high in fantasy drafts. And I still would want him on my team. But I would want him as a 5th round pick, not an early round pick. So, whatever. Chris has him, Tyreek Hill. He loves Rachaad White. I saw him take him in another league. He has Puka. He's got Diggs. Speaking of Diggs, and he has got Kincaid. And he's got Pollard and Flex. I do like Chris's team. He also has Jaden Reed, who I really like. I think Chris will be super competitive. I think circling back on David Montgomery might be the best value in the draft. This team's ridiculous. When they get inside the 3, they hand it to that guy. He's super solid. And I don't want to play against him week 1. You know why? Because I have Jahmyr Gibbs. He's coming off a hamstring injury. He says 98 to 100%. I think Gibbs is right up there with the other 3 backs, McCaffrey, Hall, and Bijan. He just doesn't carry the mail. He's a little bit more scat backish. But in a good offense, I'm hoping, I got him and James Cook. I got the little guys. So, but I do like the pairing of Kyler and Trey McBride. And man, my wide receivers in Nico, Garrett Wilson, and then I'm all in on Neighbors. I had to get Neighbors in a draft. I'm glad I got him in my most important league. He's one of those guys that you don't get, and he can just break fantasy, and then it's like, why didn't I take this guy? Or he's a guy that just sucks, and I got stuck with him, but I'm riding it at week 1 against the Vikings. I think he's going to have a nice week, and I really do think I've been tooting the Garrett Wilson horn all offseason. I have him in my Dynasty League. Him and Rodgers. Rodgers going down with the Achilles and telling him, I'm sorry, kid, after that first game. I think he's going to get peppered with targets. He's Devontae Adams for Rodgers that it wasn't Green Bay. And Calvin Ridley, man, I'm big on him this year. He was a disappointment last year in Jacksonville, but he was still, very valuable in fantasy. I just think people expected a little bit more out of him than they got. So hopefully the Kyler and McBride stack can fare well against the Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid stack, quarterback tight end, in the same game at 1 o'clock in Buffalo on Sunday. So I'm taking myself. Chris is projected to win by 7 points. So good luck to you, Chris. I'm taking myself on the back of hopefully some Arizona points. So, all right, my other NFL pick, guys, Jets plus 4.5. This is a total, San Fran gets a lot of respect. This team's gone through a lot of turmoil, man, this offseason. Trent Williams was holding out. He's back. The whole Ayuk thing, what's going on there? He's back. Purdy against that Jets defense, I think it's too many points. I think Rodgers coming back. I think the Jets win that game outright. If I'll take the 4.5 and hope maybe they lose by a field goal. So that's my other pick. Guys, I'm running on my 20th hour of being awake. I'm doing this for you. I'm going to have special guests on this podcast. I'm going to have Mackenzie's picks on this podcast. We're going to have some fun. I am blessed to do the league with you all. And I hope you have a fantastic week 1. I wish you good luck. And a few hours. Well, this is being taped Wednesday night, but it's not coming out till Thursday. So in a few hours from listening to this, the ball will be kicked off. Enjoy, guys.
Commish out.